Mike O'Keefe and Nate Vinton were here at the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C., where Roger Clemens went on trial starting today for 6 felony counts: perjury, obstruction of Congress, and false statements to Congress. These were the opening statements today. We had a couple witnesses, the first of 45 witnesses that the government says that they're going to bring. The big news for the day, of course, would be that the government said in their opening statement that they have proof that Clemens used steroids and human growth hormone in the form of needles and medical waste that carries both his DNA and traces of steroids. That was what the government claimed during their opening statement, which lasted about an hour. The defense then had an hour to give their opening statements to the jury, and they basically talked about what a great guy Roger was, how hard he worked through his career. His work ethic was a big theme of it, and basically portrayed his testimony here in D.C. before Congress back in 2008 as Roger getting railroaded by an unfair process. That was pretty much the news for the day. It was pretty exciting. Roger was there in court, but his wife, Debbie, was not. What did you think, Mike, of the opening statements?
Yeah, I thought Steve Durham's opening statement was very no frills, very sort of down the middle, fastball kind of approach. He said, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to be able to prove, outline some of the evidence that will be used against, in this case. What did you think of Rusty Hardin's opening statement?
There was a lot of buildup with Rusty Hardin because he's famous for being really good with juries, really good in the courtroom. He's a big performer. He's from Houston, Texas. He's got this Houston accent, or actually a southern accent. He's from North Carolina originally. But he's got a sort of a way of sort of appealing to the emotions of the jurors that he's famous for. But he didn't. I thought he looked a little bit off of his game today. He didn't quite look like his timing was right. He made a couple of misstatements. Said that Nolan Ryan won 7 Cy Young awards.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. He kind of seemed to ramble a few times. But it's a long trial. We're probably going to be here for about 6 weeks. An interesting moment came there at the start of the day. The judge yesterday had reprimanded, I guess would be the word, the defense for letting Roger Clemens' family members get out there on the internet and attack some of the witnesses. And the judge spoke about that again today. He's still not happy about that.
Yeah, he said at sentencing, judges often receive letters from family members and friends saying, you should go easy on this guy. He's a good guy. He's done a lot for charity, and certainly that's the case with Clemens. He's done a lot for charity. He's got a lot of friends. And the judge said he is not going to consider any letters that he would get from his sister or anyone else that wrote a tweet or a blog entry or anything like that disparaging any of the witnesses. So may not hurt Clemens in the long run, but it kind of made the Clemens family look bad in this early part of the trial.
Yeah, of course the jury didn't hear that. This judge is very careful about how things go down in his courtroom. But that was basically it. It was an exciting day because this thing is finally underway. We've been covering it for 3 years now, and first witness was a guy, Charles Johnson, a parliamentarian who understands all the rules of Congress, and another guy was Phil Barnett, and he's in the middle of his testimony when the court session ended. He was a part of the committee that was investigating steroids in baseball in 2008. Not a congressman, but a staffer, and he was very intimately involved in all the steps of what was going on there. So we'll be back tomorrow with the end of Barnett's testimony, or maybe it'll keep going all day, who knows.